So I moved to Australia about 3 years ago. It was during the COVID pandemic, which was obviously a tough time for a lot of people. It was a really strange experience moving during COVID when they were trying to move a lot of healthcare professionals into their country. So I work in the healthcare field as a doctor, and they were trying to bring in as many healthcare professionals to deal with the pandemic as they could. So when I moved, they tried to facilitate a private plane to bring us over to Australia during a time when the borders were closed. And when we arrived at the airport, we were collected by the police and escorted to a local hotel where we were locked behind closed doors for 2 weeks, which was a challenging time in itself. But after those couple of weeks, it was a great experience. So I think when people move abroad, in my experience as an Irish person, I think people become this increased intensity of Irishness, and everyone wants to be as Irish as possible when they're abroad, and people want to identify more with their cultural roots and their Irishness. And I think there's a great sense of community amongst Irish people abroad that rely or lean on each other in order to make that experience much easier for everyone. And there are a lot of similarities between people in Ireland and people in Australia, and a lot of the sense of humour is similar and things, but at the same time, you are taken away from what you know, and you're forced into a new situation with slightly different expectations or different conversational styles. I think no matter all the moves that I've done, whether that be from the north to Dublin for university, or whether that be from Ireland to Australia, or even Australia back to Ireland, it always takes a few months to settle and to get used to things again. Even if you're moving back to your home country, I think it's still taken me a few months to try and get used to that again. And sometimes you can even feel like an outsider in your own country, which is a strange feeling. And with all these great opportunities in life, when you move away or you take a chance to take on a new opportunity, at the end of the day, you're making sacrifices in another part of your life. And when you move to somewhere as far away as Australia, then you're leaving a lot behind. As much as the world's becoming a smaller place through technology, it is often difficult to communicate because of time difference or because of work schedules. And I think that the people are what you miss the most when you move somewhere as far away as that. Yeah, so I work as a doctor, and I've been very privileged to be involved in medical care when people are at their most vulnerable. I remember being in an emergency department where a small child had suffered a terrible accident and was dying, and all they wanted to do was cling on to their Pokemon toy. And I thought that whilst that was a horrible and terrible moment, it was a moment of, whoa, this is a real person, and their identity is what is so important to them, and what they're trying to hang on to right until the last moment. And to be a part of that, offering whatever medical expertise or just personal expertise that I can in that moment is an amazing thing to do for a job. I think that's an inherent part of being Irish, is that, you know, your family and your friends are very important to you, and that's how I feel. And I think that the main reason that I chose to move back to Ireland is to be with them and to be surrounded by the people who've got me where I am today.